What is up, Gundam Meisters and Innovators? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we are returning to AD 2308 as we continue our coverage of Mobile Suit Gundam 00F. Last time we learned about the Foreste team who is working in the shadows, while the Ptolemaeus team is the more public-facing of the celestial beings. Veda activated Fawn Spark's bomb in his neck. He has 10 minutes before he dies, and he is going to use all of that time. This episode, Fawn will struggle to survive as Hanayo saves his life. Meanwhile, the world unites as one as they take on celestial beings. So let's get into this. Before starting, last time we saw Gundam Dynamics use an underwater sniper rifle. This is actually a new loadout, so let's break it down. The GN-002 DG-014 Gundam Dynamics Torpedo is a variant of Dynamics designed for underwater use. In this universe, mobile armors and ships are still the main weapon of choice for water combat, but this suit attempts to make mobile suits relevant underwater. It is equipped with a DG-014 sniper rifle with a special GN condenser, which allows the rifle to rapid-fire torpedoes. It also has sonar on its left shoulder. Other weapons include a pair of beam sabers. Alright, back to the fight. Mikhail unleashes GN Fangs on Pluton. Shaw wished that the trial system was installed on Pluton. Shaolin believes that Hanayo will help him. Hanayo remembers Fawn's words about having her own self outside of Veda. She takes control of Pluton. With absolutely no lead-in, Nina just explains Fawn's real name as Roback Stad Jr., and he was once a terrorist opposing the Union. She just looks at the camera and does an exposition dump. That's lazy writing. An explosion goes off. The Trinity team thinks it is a self-destruct, but it is the core fighter ejecting. They try to shoot it down, but they miss. Johan notes that a normal autopilot wouldn't be this hard to shoot down. Is he still alive? They have to regroup and await further instructions. Nina wonders about the Zero Gundam, but they could wait. There is no point in taking it if they don't have the furnace, for some reason. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Just take it. They leave for another mission given by Veda. Veda also gives Foreste a mission to retrieve the solar furnace, even though they just disbanded the team. Shaw notes that they were unaware that Hanayo was piloting Pluton. She hints at her past by saying Pluton, a machine that took her comrades, is now trying to save them. In the core fighter, Hanayo was able to use nanomachines to stop the bleeding. He is in a coma, but it is only a matter of time until he dies, unless he gets treatment. One thing to also note is that most people call Hanayo Meister 874. The Foreste team is going over the Trinity team data. She realized that they referred to him as Fawn, but no one but Foreste calls him that. The Meister files are stored in Veda 7, which she does not have access to. We learn that most guards get level 3 access, and Sumeragi has level 4 access, and Tieria had level 7 until he got locked out. They have information that the Meisters don't have, but perhaps someone else has an even higher level of access that they don't know about working behind the scenes. Hanayo fights with herself. She wants to contact someone, but Veda will know if she does. But perhaps she should leave it in the hands of Veda. They might save him. They might also deny him. Veda doesn't have any feelings or concept of good and evil. It only collects data. Fawn somehow awakes from his coma and tells her to follow her own will. But the artwork shows his mask completely covered in blood, so it should have sounded more like, "How are you even talking?" Shaw believes that Veda will not abandon someone who is vital to the plan. She knew this when she created Foreste. The Throne Gundams weren't originally a part of Veda's plan, but they allowed them because it was beneficial overall. The team decides to head towards Dr. Marino. He was a former member of Doctors Without Borders and knows Hanayo. Shaw is concerned that Veda may force her hand over Fawn, but Shaolin thinks she will save him. Currently, Dr. Marino is on board the Ptolemaeus. In the same asteroid base where the Ptolemaeus is hiding out, Fawn is currently healing in a pod. Shaw and Hanayo meet up with Ian Vashti and Dr. Marino. It has been a while since they have all been together, as they are all second-generation celestial beings. They all used to be a part of the Krongthep team. Ian talks about how they soon will have to pass the buck on to their children. Ian remembers when Shaw was younger. I assume this will be covered in Gundam 00P. Since the doctor is there, he wants to do a checkup on Shaw and ask if she is taking her medicine. They wonder if she wants to meet Felt. She flashes back to a time when she escaped in the the Pluton core fighter, while her comrades Ruido and Marlene die in a shroud of GN particles. She remembers when she first held their daughter in her arms when she was younger. Ruido and Marlene's daughter is Felt Grace. She doesn't want to face her now in the present, however. Hanayo says Shawl is doing good things and to not worry. Shawl, who usually refers to her as Meister 874, calls her Hanayo. Bonding. Fawn begins the healing process, and while he heals, the Trinity team begins attacking citizens and causing chaos. Setsuna engaged with the new celestial beings while the UN got a hold of their own GN drive equipped with mobile suits. Shaw and Echo are trying to figure out who the mole in celestial being is. GN drives aren't made in a day. Each part was manufactured throughout the world and passed off as construction workers. But every nation's top spies should be trying to solve this as well. How is this kept so tight-lipped? That is when the alarms go off in Fawn's room. They rush over to see that Fawn is awake. He is extremely hungry from being in a coma for what I assume is about 6-ish weeks. Episodes 17 to 21 of Gundam 00 played out while he was in a coma. Hanayo updates him on what happened while he was out. She also set off the alarm because it was the fastest way to get everyone's attention. He knows that someone betraying Celestial Being was always a part of Aeolia's plan from the beginning. All of this was a plan to unite the world through the destruction of the Gundam. Essentially, GN particle technology was always supposed to be given to the people. Sherilyn says the Astraea is good to go, and she also copied all of the Ptolemaeus data as they will lose Veda support soon. Fawn and Hanayo launches an Astraea Type F. The GNY-001F Astraea Gundam Type F is the upgraded version of the Astraea. This takes battle data from the 3rd generation Gundams and applies it to 2nd generation Gundams to create something new and makes an older mobile suit on equal ground with modern machines. Like most Type F Gundams, it has a mask to hide its identity and uses limited GN particles to stay off the radar. This machine allows easy access to change out the GN drive, which is necessary for the Foreste team. Weapons include a GN beam rifle, which can be attached to the forearm or used in hand, a GN beam saber, the Proto-GN sword, GN Vulcans, and a GN shield. Most importantly is Fawn's favorite weapon, the GN hammer. This ball and chain has its own GN condenser. Even if it doesn't penetrate the armor, it will certainly concuss the pilot. As they launch, Hanayo begins glitching. The Gundam begins glowing red. Suddenly, a message from Aeolia begins playing. Alejandro has shot Aeolia's cryogenically frozen body, and his backup has been activated. He entrusts everyone with the original GN drive, the power to activate the Trans-Am system. Setsuna and the Ptolemaeus team are also watching this message. Fawn goes forth with the new Trans-Am system. Before launching, Shaw wonders what his plan is. Even Fawn doesn't know, but he knows that they seized Veda and that ultimately this was the UN's only response to a group claiming to be the world's heroes. It is safe to assume that all the Celestial Being's secret docks have been uncovered, and it is only a matter of time until they come for the Foreste team. Fawn will handle the supply docks. Back in the Astraea, Fawn heads to supply dock 923GS and takes out Summon X. He uses the Trans-Am system. They have went through 4 supply docks, but Fawn thinks that something is wrong. There isn't really any big resistance. Certainly Veda should be throwing all it's got, so why are they allowed to operate so freely? Hanayo informs them that Veda isn't tracking them. Specifically, Veda is overlooking all their data, like a digital stealth mode. This is something else that Aeolia left them specifically. Hanayo is able to see all the Ptolemaeus data. She dives deeper and senses Ribbon's Almark. She says that Celestial Being has been destroyed. Fawn and Hanayo go out to the wreckage of the battle and find themselves a GN drive from one of the Jinx mobile suits. Hanayo wonders if they should help the Ptolemaeus team. Fawn thinks they should be able to clean up their own mess. He runs into a Jinx with a living pilot and decides, I'm going to kick it. He then stumbles onto Tieria and the barely noticeable Gundam Natalie. He has ejected his GN drive from his mobile suit. Hanayo feels that Tieria has lost his connection to Veda and wants to help, but their mission is done here. AD 2308, Celestial Being is defeated and the world is now united. In Paris, a man named Hixar Fermi is walking through the city when he passes by the news expositing that PM forces were trying to attain their independence in this new hegemon, but were taken out by Jinxes. A young girl named Hayana, who resembles Hanayo, is following Hixar. PMC is struggling to hold out and wonders what their next move should be. Laughing at the team is Fawn Spark. Post-war, he has run off to troll mercs. They think that he is a celestial being since he has a Gundam. He tells them that he's more of a freelancer. The army is destroyed by the UN. Fawn and Hanayo head out in the 00F. She wonders what that was all about. Fawn says that he wanted to see the changing world with his own eyes. Post-destruction of celestial being, Shawl is feeling a little lost. She is upgrading the Gundams based on Fawn's word and wonders if he sees something that she doesn't. Now that the battle is over, they have acquired 2 solar furnaces. Echo asks Hanayo where Fawn is, but Shawl tells him to get away from her. It isn't Hanayo. It is Hayana. She gets into the Gundam 00F cockpit. Hixar joins her. They are confused, as only Meisters should be able to access the Gundams. That is when Fawn busts through the hangar door. One thing to note is that Hixar looks like a better groomed version of Fawn, and Hanayo and Hayana look identical. So we got ourselves a same versus same battle on our hands. And that will do it for this episode. We powered through that first season really fast in the background, but now we will fill in the gaps between season 1 and 2. Next time we will see Hayana and Hixar fight the Fereshte team, and Hayana will try to kill Hanayo. But that will do it for now, Gundam Meisters. Remember, sometimes you just gotta lay back and let others handle it. Peace.